Hello, folks. Welcome to another episode. Gotta turn that low. Welcome to another episode of the Tech Behind FinTech. Always happy and excited to be here. My name is Nnamdi Osuagwu. I'm the host of today's show. We cover the technology behind FinTech and the news as well. So we'll be going through it. Feel free at any point in time to drop in comments, whether it's questions, whether it's information that you have and you want to share. If appropriate, I will post it on the video channel so everyone will see, and we will answer those questions and drill into it. As always, I'm very excited to be here. Happy Friday. This is actually a high point of one of the high points of my week in terms of going over this stuff with you guys. We're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitch. We also have a live stream going on Instagram. That's why I'm looking over there. Unfortunately, Instagram doesn't connect to our StreamYard platform, so we stream it from another device, and they get the behind the scenes footage. So if you're on Instagram and you want to see the actual show with the presentations that we put forth, go to the website techbehindfintech.com, and then you can also add your comments, and it'll be posted in the video as well. Let me wave to the people who are joining us, and we're about to jump right into it. All right, great. Let's get busy. It's really let's get busy. It's like an Arsenio Hall reference back in the days. But yeah, let's get it started. All right. So, what is the first article we want to talk about? Oh, yeah, the first one. So, Canadian Tire Bank taps Temenos for digital first core banking upgrade. So, Temenos Transact is a widely used digital core banking solution. They use cloud native and agnostic technology to provide the most extensive and richest set of banking functionality across retail, corporate, treasury, wealth, and payments, with over 1,000 banks in 100 leading and innovative products and services to their customers. So the core banking upgrade forms part of the parent company, Canadian Tire Corporation's omni-channel digital-first growth plan. The firm aims to enhance customer acquisition, loyalty, and engagement rates within its C2B Canadian Tire Bank financial arm. Temenos CEO Max Chouard says Temenos platform will help Canadian Tire Bank to scale and benefit from new business models built around its retail brands. CDB is one of the largest card issuers in Canada, and the adoption of Temenos tech will help the company provide enhanced digital banking features for its more than 2 million customers, including streamlined accounting, opening, expanded buy now, pay later capabilities. So the Canadian Tire Bank Financial Services CEO and President Ayaz Pariah says the digital upgrade will help CTB to drive integration across its retail brands and Triangle Rewards loyalty program, which currently has 11 million active members. So, I mean, what are we seeing here? Look, it's digital transformation. It's upgrading legacy systems. I mean, all these things are happening throughout various verticals, especially in financial. I mean, you're gonna see that with banks with legacy systems, whether most of the incumbents are upgraded, but whether it's from the community, credit union, things of that, like upgrade is definitely necessary if they want to compete with other banks, bigger banks, and also their fintech counterparts, and also just leverage their active users. So or active customers. Let me say that. Users more on the tech side. Okay. What is the second article of the day? Oh, let me go to my comment sections in case I miss anyone. Okay, the second one that we want to go over today. Let's make a jump. So this in the world of NFTs and crypto, this I found really interesting. So last year we did talk about this. Former OpenSea employee charged with first ever NFT insider trading case. So I mean, last year what had happened is essentially the individual knew what was coming out. OpenSea is an NFT platform, so they knew this was coming out, and they essentially loaded up on it to make a windfall and sell it once it was released. They knew it was going to be on OpenSea's front page. So this is obviously some sort of insider trading. But U.S. prosecutors in New York Southern District have charged and arrested Nathaniel Chaston, a former product manager at the online marketplace OpenSea. To actually formally arrest someone for this, I find interesting. It's almost like, all right, you do break the law, but is there really a law in place? We know this happens in stock insider trading. I mean, that's what Martha Stewart, she got jammed up with insider trading. But to see it happening in the blockchain world, I find that interesting. I find it interesting more so, you know, eh, was it actually a law in place when he did it? So but here's what the prosecutors said about that, which is very interesting. NFTs might be new, but this type of criminal scheme is not, said U.S. Attorney Damian Williams. Today's charges demonstrate the commitment of this office to stamping out insider trading, whether it occurs on the stock market or the blockchain. I think this is going to set a huge precedent, number one. So look what's happening here. The 31-year-old faces one count of wire fraud and one count of money laundering in connection with a scheme to commit insider trading in the non-fungible tokens or NFTs using confidential information about what NFTs were going to be featured on OpenSea's homepage for his personal financial gain. But get this, I'm talking heavy time here. That's a potential each count. So you see multiple counts. Each count carries a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison, the Department of Justice wrote in a press release. I mean, who knows if it's going to stick? But I find it just interesting. Like I'm a little bit torn with this one. Obviously, what they said, right? This is an inside. We all know insider trading. Like, you can't call your friend that works on an openly traded company, like whether it's Coinbase, Robinhood, or Delta, American Airlines, whatever, and get information before that's not public. Use that information in turn to then either short the company or buy it long and make a profit. That's insider trading. We all know that you can get jammed up for that and go to prison. But was there something in place in NFT world? Were there something in place prior that like this is the law? Because ever since that happened, they say up until 2020, September 2021, when Chasten's alleged bad practices first came to light, the startup was relatively lax with respect to restrictions around employees using privileged information to invest in NFTs. The company has since implemented two new employee policies, including banning OpenSea team members from buying or selling from collections or creators while they are being featured or promoted by the company, as well as barring staff from using confidential information to purchase or sell any NFTs, whether available on an OpenSea platform or not. So these company policies were not in place. I mean, look, for those of us who have worked in the financial industry, especially if you worked for investment banks, right, you have to take a ton of various training exercises, talking about open insider trading, talking about just various things that just goes through different rules and things. It's all part of compliance. Like part of their compliance is to offer their all employees, whether you're on the business side or the tech side, you have to take compliance training. Bribery issue, just various things like that you go through. This wasn't done in OpenSea. This wasn't done, right? So yeah, did the person break the law? 100%. Well, I don't know how do you break a law that's not even in existence, and then after the fact, it's like, okay, well, you broke it, and then even the company didn't even have policies in place to protect. I mean, common sense definitely, but these things weren't in place like you would see in traditional financial houses. They're in place. You have to sign off that you take it as compliance trading. So whether you slept through the trading or not, you were made aware of it. And if you go against it, there could be penalties and charges, which they alert you to. You have to acknowledge it. You have to sign off to it. So that's where I'm torn with this. Love to get your opinion. I think this is a very interesting topic. I know in a few weeks, hopefully next week or so, we're going to have an HR recruiting expert on? This is some type of questions that I want to shoot to her. I know she's going to be on. We're working on scheduling. Renee Small. A lot of you know her from her podcast, breaking into cybersecurity. But it'll be really interesting to get her take on it because I want to get someone in human resources. I want to get someone in that space to weigh in on that because that's a question that I have. If if the company that you're working for does not make you aware of certain compliance, you don't have policies in place, you then violate this policy that's not in place. What should be the punishment? Should the punishment be, okay, you get fired? That's one thing, but 20 years with each count, possibly not a U.S. attorney's coming in at you. Um, I think there's more to that story. I don't know. I'd like to get your opinion on it. Looking at Instagram, I guess someone and comment. Really interested to hear that. So, with that said, let's move on to the next article. All right, so market conditions, right? Major crypto firms are reportedly are reported to cut up to 10% of the staff amid a bear market. I mean, look, unless you're hiding under a rock, everything is down. Whether it's stocks, crypto, moving into a market where it's bear, you're keeping what you have, um, because obviously if you sell it, then you realize the loss. So they said previous crypto bear markets triggered much bigger layoffs, with some firms like Consensus reportedly firing up to 60% of its workforce in 2018. I mean, if you've been in the crypto space for a while, we remember a couple of years ago when everything went high. Well, high is relative, right? Because it was a time and point in 2018 where 20,000 for Bitcoin was like high. Everybody was like losing their minds, 20,000, right? We recent years we've seen the thing go up to 66,000 or so. But at that time it was high. So then it dropped down low along with other cryptos, and that triggered what they call a crypto winter. It ran from 2018 to the fall of 2020 as the value of cryptocurrencies plunged and layoffs were rife. So um, things were down, and things were going down. If we look back at 2018, companies let go a lot of their staff. When things started to pick back up, there was a hiring frenzy. So, and that's being seen right now. Two companies we're seeing that a lot is Gemini and also Coinbase. So we're going to get into that. Before we do, um, let's get into that. Find that very interesting. But but there are some crypto executives and still hiring. I'm looking to hire people. So there's a pump crypto to jobs website is listing 600 open positions at the time of this writing. The major global crypto exchange Binance is looking to hire nearly 1,000 employees. So we're seeing some companies, laying people off, and we're seeing some hiring. So I find that interesting. All right, let's move on to the same along the same lines, right? So the Winklevoss twins, Gemini. So that whole, you watched the whole Facebook movie. They were big major part of that movie, but they went into Bitcoin and became billionaires off of that. Have a company called Gemini, and Gemini is cutting off 10% of its staff. Gemini, which has been around since 2014 and is valued at 7.1 billion as of this last funding round, has 1,033 people on its payroll, according to PitchBook, which translates to about 100 employees affected by today's layoffs. As for the next steps, Gemini has closed its physical offices today, I think it was a couple of days ago, in order to protect employee privacy. Impacted team members will receive a calendar invite for individual conversations about separation packages and healthcare benefits on Friday. Remaining employees will take part in a company-wide stand-up to talk about its future. The memo says Gemini wants to focus only on products that are critical to its mission, and team leaders will assess whether their teams are right-sized for the current and turbulent market conditions that are likely to persist for some time. another note on this, though, but even as crypto companies pare back their rosters, venture capitalists continue to pour money into the crypto ecosystem. Andreessen Horowitz recently announced a new 4.5 billion fund dedicated to backing crypto and blockchain companies. And Binance Labs, the company's venture arm, has raised 500 million for a fund dedicated to investing in Web3 startups. So it's interesting just to see the difference of what's going on. All right, let's go on to the next article. So along that same line, like we said, some of the major companies we know of, Coinbase has extended its hiring pause for the foreseeable future and plans to rescind some offers. 2 weeks after announcing that it is pausing hiring, Coinbase said it's extending the freeze for the foreseeable future. Coinbase has lost more than 70% of its value this year as turmoil in the economy and a plunge in cryptocurrencies led to a decline in users. We have decided to pause hiring for as long as this macro environment requires. 2 weeks after announcing, so that Coinbase said it's informing prospects of the rescinded offers by email on Thursday. The company also said that it was extending its severance policy to those individuals and will help them with job placement and resume review. So it's good. It's a quote from them. After assessing our business priorities, current headcount, and open roles, we have decided to pause hiring for as long as this macro environment requires. LJ Brock, Coinbase chief people officer, wrote in a blog post on Thursday. The extended hiring pause will include backfills, except now for roles that are necessary to meet the high standards we set for security and compliance or to support our mission critical work. It's interesting to see that. This is somebody who is into security. So prior to 2022 downturn, Coinbase has been one of the highest flyers in the tech industry. The company tripled the size of its staff last year to 3,730 employees following its NASDAQ debut in April 2021. Coinbase reported a 12-fold increase in the second quarter sales to 2.28 billion, while profit climbed 4,900% to 1.6 billion. So it was all last year. So here's another quote from them. We always knew crypto would be volatile, but the volatility alongside larger economic factors may test a company and us personally in new ways, Brock wrote in Thursday's post. If we're flexible and resilient, remain focused on the long term, Coinbase will come out of this stronger on the other side. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. Guys, feel free to drop some comments. Always interested in hearing what you think, and so forth. See if there's any comments on Instagram. We can see any comments on Instagram. Okay, cool. Interesting on this one. Taco tokens. So Chipotle adds crypto payments via Flexa. So if you go to Chipotle in a regular, you can pay in crypto. Nearly 3,000 Chipotle restaurants across the U.S. will accept 98 currencies as the Mexican-style fast food chain partners with Flexa to support crypto payments. Flexa announced a partnership on Wednesday, which will see Chipotle accept all the 98 currency Flexa currently supports, including Bitcoin, Ether, and 7 US dollar peg stable coins like USD Coin, USDC. Chipotle's website does not contain any information about the announcement, however. You're getting some inside information here. It's strange that they don't have a press release about it, but that's what's happening. So with crypto adoption in the U.S. remaining high despite market turbulence, merchants have expressed a desire to implement payment solutions to capture the growing interest. So I don't know. Okay, I'll load Bitcoin. Would you use Bitcoin to buy a Chipotle burrito? That's the question I have for the audience. I remember stories back when Bitcoin first came out, and some people were using it for pizza deliveries and so forth. And then you see, and that's what it was like. wasn't worth as much. And now you see that a single Bitcoin got as high as 66,000. So yeah, it's expensive pizza. Or it could be an expensive burrito. All right. Let's move on to the last article of the day, keeping this one a cool brief. So this morning, yesterday, hackers exploited unpatched critical Atlassian Confluence zero-day vulnerability. So Atlassian warned of a critical unpatched remote code execution vulnerability impacting Confluence server and data center products that it has said is being actively exploited in the wild. The Australian software company credited cybersecurity firm Velocity for identifying the flaw, which is being tracked as CVE 2022-26. This article is important. I'm going to put it on so you guys can. I'm putting in the chat because I think it's important. When I first read this, a lot of companies use Jira. I got like really, really nervous. It's like, okay, wait, let's see the impact. Let me put it on the screen. All right, so now this is going to be part. You can look the article up. Just put it on the screen and be part of the video. It's part of some sort of threat intelligence, understanding what's going on. A lot of companies use Atlassian products, but this is more so. So they have a cloud-based version and they have a self-managed one. So I think this one is more around the Confluence server and data center that are self-managed. So if you have that, the article talks about some ways to protect yourself. They have not found a fix. So 0-day means this is a new vulnerability. There's no patch for it right now. So they're actively working on it. So they say all supported versions of Confluence server and data center are affected, although it's expected that all versions of the enterprise solutions are potentially vulnerable. The earliest impacted version is not yet to be ascertained. In the absence of a fix, Atlassian is urging customers to restrict Confluence server and data center instances from the internet or consider disabling the instances altogether. Alternatively, it has recommended implementing a web application firewall or WAF rule, which blocks URLs containing the $symbol #Islam. And it's in the article itself. But you know what? I think this is important to post. So let me post this just in case you do have a Confluence server on-prem or data center on-prem. I'm going to post this up, so I really want you guys to see it. If you do have this on-prem, it's good to know. I'll post it now as part of the video. That's the comment from the article. I'll leave it up there for a second. All right, cool. You revisit it afterwards. This is part of the video now. Let's see if there are any comments. All right, so the attack chain involved leveraging the Atlassian 0-day exploit, a command injection vulnerability to achieve unauthenticated remote code execution on the server, enabling the threat actor to use a foothold to drop the behinder web shell. The behinder web shell provides a very powerful capabilities to attackers, including memory-only web shells and built-in support for interaction with Meterpreter and Cobalt Strike. The researchers said at the same time, it does not allow persistence, which means that if you reboot it or restart the service, it'll wipe out the web shell. Let me just put here on the screen. So we kind of try to cover a security topic at the end of the show. So what is a web shell? Web shells are malicious scripts that enable the threat actors to compromise web servers and launch additional attacks. Threat actors first penetrate the system or network and then install a web shell. From this point onwards, they use it as a permanent backdoor into the targeted web applications and any connected systems. But it lacks persistence, at least the behinder web shell does. So if you reboot it, you should wipe it out, but you're still susceptible. So you have to watch that. So how are web shells used by attackers? Threat actors use web shells for a range of scenarios, exfiltrating and harvesting sensitive information and credentials, uploading malware, which could potentially create a watering hole for further infection, scanning of victims, and defacing and defacing websites. Um, I'm modifying or adding files. What else do we want to see here? It's pretty much it for today's show, actually. A couple of news articles covering the security topic on a web shell. Let me see if there are any comments from the audience before we close it out. Let me see if there are any comments from Instagram. I don't see any comments from Instagram. A lot of people joined on Instagram, actually. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Gonna wave to you guys. Um, Thanks for tuning in. Didn't even see everybody who tuned in. It's just a lot of people. Cool. All right. So listen, I think that is it for. I think that's it for us for the day. I don't see any additional questions. So let me stop sharing this. Um, as always, really enjoy my time here with you guys and going through the articles on the Tech Behind FinTech. You can catch us on the techbehindfintech.com. What other announcements do we have? This show is sponsored by our parent company, Strategic Generation, offering security assessment services and also SOC 3 assessments and so forth. I'm going to have a little way to get in touch with us at the end. And what else do we have? I think that's it. As always, it has been fun, and more fun. Love doing the show. All right. Have a great day. I am out. Let me add some stuff here. Give me a second. We have the thank you banner in the back. Sometimes it's like a second off. I'm always going to wait for like a comment or so. Okay. In lieu of that, I'm going to remove myself. Anyway, look, have a great and outstanding weekend, people. Take care. Cheers.